Good morning, good morning, good morning, good morning. It's a brand new day. Fresh. We've never seen it before. We've never experienced it before. It's a brand new day today. And we want to have a very lively discussion today. Now, listen, this is a very important topic that we're going to be going into this blessed day because you see, we need to really get this thing sorted. So, all my friends on TikTok who are listening, I hope you'll be able to hear everything or jump on over to our YouTube channel because I have a very interesting discussion coming up and a very capable gentleman who is going to be ably guiding us, and telling us the things that we need to understand. You understand what I'm saying? So, without any further ado, I invite him up.
Good
Yes,
morning.
sir.
Good morning. Good morning. I just checking to ensure that you're hearing me clearly
Oh, very clearly.
and you're seeing me clearly as well.
Very clearly.
Awesome. God is good.
And your camera qualities makes my camera quality looks. But it's good to be here. It's good to be here, and we are grateful to the Lord. Let me inform those who are listening that we are the Optimal You coming to you from HGG Radio, and we are having this wonderful discussion today. Today is a day that we talk about financial stability or financial wellness. And what we're going to be looking at is something that so often is overlooked, the matter of budgeting. A lot of times we don't take time to focus on budgeting. But before we do that, for the benefit of those who are listening for the very first time to Mr. Douglas, I'm going to ask him to introduce himself and to tell us where he is speaking to us from or under what umbrella. Mr. Douglas.
All right. Good morning again, Minister Renee, and good morning to all of your listeners. My name is Marvin Douglas. I usually love leading by saying that I am a son of the Most High. I am a humble servant doing God's bidding. I am speaking to you from Marathon Insurance Brokers, 46 Trinidad Terrace here in New Kingston, Jamaica. But it would be remiss of me to not share that I also engage you under the umbrella of the Liberty for Living Ministries, led by senior pastors Rowan and Marsha Wade. And we are at the Trade Center on Red Hills Road here in Kingston as well, or St. Andrew, Jamaica as well. All right. So I am here. I believe that over time I would have been blessed with some know-how, with some knowledge based on my field of work as an agency manager slash financial advisor to be able to impart some perspective on matters concerning finance.
Mr. Douglas, I'm going to be, listen, married. You don't marry, have any children. You don't want to pick up your wife or say something. Say
You
something.
know something? I didn't want to take up the entire program with it, but I have been blessed. God blessed me with the most amazing woman. My wife, her name is Khalifa, and I was blessed. She has gifted me with two beautiful children. My son is 18 and my daughter is 15. uh, Beautiful children. I have a lovely family, and I give God thanks for the gift of this family. You know, when
I like what you said.
I don't want to I don't want to go off too much. Let's we leave the topic at hand.
But I like what you said, the gift, because truly our families, they are truly, it's a gift.
Yes.
They are really gifts from God. So we want to delve into the whole matter today. And I want to give you an opportunity to share with us the definition for this particular thing, because maybe we have different understandings of what it is. So, can you please, sir, Mr. Douglas,
Mhm.
give us a definition of what it really means when we say budgeting? What is a budget?
All right. Budgeting in a simplistic way is really just a process of creating and or managing a plan to allocate as to how we allocate our financial resources, right? That is aimed towards achieving a specific goal or a specific set of goals or financial goals. It really involves estimating one's income or looking at your income versus your expenses and savings, and to make some informed decisions as to how and when you use your money.
So that's it. Just is that
That's
like
that's a budget for you. A budget typically involves a number of things. As I said, income. It will include your expenses, your fixed expenses, your variable expenses. It would include debt management. It would include savings. Uh, that is in no specific order of importance, because when we go into it, we'll speak about ratios and how you create ratios in terms of where do you go. Some persons may bundle some of what they deem as expenses and our savings, because for us here it is important. I will continue to say it is important to, in your budget, set aside your tithe and offering, set aside your goodwill funds, something that you're going to be contributing to probably, if we won't call it the less fortunate. Yes, as we have been instructed by God, so to speak. We will look at, as I said, um, how ratios in terms of what takes precedence for us per se, and that would be uncovered once you sit with your financial advisor. Now, I want to go somewhere just real quickly. Before one can do a budget, it is important that they engage in tracking of their expenses, because you can't then go ahead and make a budget without knowing specifically what your expenses are. What are you trying to achieve? Yes, I say it is great if you can increase our income and reduce our expense. That would be an ideal situation. But not all of us are in a position where we can just readily increase our income. A lot of us, where we are at, our income is pretty fixed. But our expenses, you may have some fixed expenses whilst you have some variable expenses. When you sit and you do a budget, you may uncover that there are some things are want and some things are need. We will always come back to the concept of delayed gratification. Are there some things that don't need to be in the budget right now? Are there some things that, as opposed to you treating yourself every month, you treat yourself every other month to a particular thing? It is just being diligent. Uh, can I just jump real quickly into, just as a reference, into a passage of scripture, Proverbs 21 verse 5. If we look at the NIV version, it says, the plans of the diligent lead to profit, as surely as ace leads to poverty. Planning, budgeting, stewardship over what you have. It's all bundled, and it's called budgeting.
wow? Okay, all right. All right. So, having said all of that, and we are clear because we want to break down in a minute, based on your experience as a financial controller, advisor, as a financial advisor, and also as a Christian man, being in the Christian circle, do you think that Christians pay attention to budgeting?
Based on my experience, too few of us do so. Too few of us do so. I
Can
would be
would you, just to jump on there as you continue, could you also state why you think that is so? Just, why you think that happens?
perspective, perspective, and lack of information, and if I may say so, ignorance. You don't know what you don't know. And as such, I may hasten to say that you, Minister, you are truly a blessing to God's people, as the things that you're doing now, it is needed. They can't say no, they have not heard it, because you have brought it to them. So you have taken them out of a position of ignorance to a position of know-how, or at least you'd have, this program is geared towards setting them on a path. A lot of us as Christians, and I say a lot of us because I'm not pulling out myself, we believe that, okay, yeah, man, God will provide, God will do, and God will do, and God will bless us, and God will take care of everything. And we don't take care of the things that we have. We don't take care of the things that He has already given us.
But we have to remember what the scriptures say now, that we're supposed to be faithful stewards of
There
our
you go.
time,
There you
our
go.
talent, and
There you
our
go.
money. So even though He is going to provide, I tell people all the time, everything is in the Bible, because the Lord knows how we can be as humans. So He said,
Correct.
listen, be faithful with this, because even though I'm going to pour out the thing on you, if you're not wise with it, Miles Monroe said, whatever you mismanage, you lose.
Correct.
Whatever you mismanage, those are people I listen to, I love to listen to those people, you
Yes.
understand? Whatever you mismanage, you lose. So I think many times as Christian, our finances, why we say broke pocket and we experience broke pocketness, is because we don't manage our finances very well. And we don't seem to think that we need to focus on that. Um, but let me ask you, with all that being said and the scripture and so on, are there any benefits of budgeting? Seriously, really, are there any
Yes.
benefits?
Yeah, man. So let's look at a few of them real quickly. Budgeting, it clearly reduces financial stress because you have a plan. So you don't, there can be effective budgeting, causes or leads to an effective management of your finances. You know what will go where. As much as you want to do for me, and you would like to do for everybody else, you would have done your budget, you'd have committed it to God, you'd have prayed over it, and you have said, God, this is what I am doing. No, because you set aside $10,000 for your savings, for your investment, so to speak, just as an example. And I come and I say, boy, sister, say, boy, I mean, no one look a situation and I need some money. You'd have already budgeted for that which you can do, and you will give away and you will help and whatever it is. It's not, I am putting it to you, God, unless God says, my sister, give it to the person. You won't find yourself in trouble with God for not giving out that, because you are being a good steward over what you would have been gifted with. So, as I said, it reduces financial stress, it promotes savings, it helps you manage debts. Debts like your car payment, your car note, your mortgage, things you may have in the past incurred some credit card debts that you have to sort out. There may have been some loans that you may have borrowed to get some things sorted out and things. So you'd have budgeted, so you know how you'd have consolidated some of those, or would have put together, on a monthly basis over a stipulated period of time, what you pay towards whatever it is to get it done. So a budget helps you to manage debts. It improves your financial discipline. We spoke about discipline, and when you have it written down, when you have your plan written down, right? And as you said, the Bible talks about everything. When you have your plan written down, just like how I encourage persons to make a vision board, to make to put the things that they want, they will also have their things written down, their expenses and things. So in the budget, it helps you to formulate that discipline, and if you do it consistently, it then becomes a part of who you are, part of what you do, so it becomes easier. And budgeting does help you to achieve long-term goals, because as opposed to you just winging it, there are just you have a structure to how you do and what you do. So a budget, it does enhance your financial clarity. It shows you where you are, where you need to be, how long you need to get there. It causes you to make better investment decisions. When you budget, it can help you with increasing your credit score and stuff, you know, and reduce some amount of wastage in terms of your finances as well.
But Mr. Douglas, let's be real here. Let's just be real here so for 1 minute,
Yes.
because I'm just being real right here. Because my little chupans that I am getting, and for the benefit of those who don't understand chupans, I mean the small portion, my salary or is tiny. So the small chupans that I'm getting for pay, you
Yes.
are trying to tell me, because I'm thinking here that budget is for people who have the thing, the coils. They're making coils of paper. They're
Yes.
making a lot of money. So they are better able to budget than me because my money is small. So are you trying to tell me, or are you suggesting that everybody should budget, whether your money enough or it is small, for the benefit of those who don't understand what I mean money enough, when you're getting a lot of pay and when your pay is small? Are you saying that we can budget either way? I just want to get that clear as well.
Yes, man, most definitely. As I always say, 10% is 10%. If you earn 10%, if you earn $100, 10% is $10, right? But if you earn $1,000, 10% is 100. So the concept of 10% remains the same. So let us not look on the chupans for what it is, but let's just look at the structure that you're putting in place. You see, there is always a way to, you're creating a structure. So as you said, regardless of how much you make, yes, budgeting is for you. Yes, budgeting is important. And yes, budgeting can be done. And yes, budgeting will help you. A lot of times persons would sit before you and they say, boy, I can't save and I can't do this. And you ask them, why not? And then say, but boy, the things high and may have the bills to pay and may have mama to take care and may have whatever it is. And I say, let me ask you a question. Over the past 6 months, can you tell me how much you pay for your light bill? Why, sometimes it's at 10,000, sometimes it's at 12, sometimes at 13. But let me ask you a question. The month when it's at 13, you did do anything different? Why? And you say, all right, cool. So we're going to learn from manage the expense. Before we learn from manage the expense, we're going to track the expense. So we're going to know all that it is that you would have spent, all that it is that you have to spend on. And then we can. So tracking becomes important. And then they realize that, oh, but say for real, the money that I spend on a town the other day, me never have to spend it. I said, no, you never had to spend it. But the only reason why you spend it is because you weren't tracking what your spending is. Yes? So it can be done regardless of the amount that you get. A coil or the little chupans. You see this
Mm.
thing about it.
Sometimes I'm so tired and I just feel like I just want to buy some fast food and don't bother with the cooking. And you're saying to me all those things have to be considered.
Oh yes.
All right, so let us move on to something because you know every time this is the second time you're coming in on Mr. Douglas and you're provoking my peace. You're provoking my peace, Mr. Douglas. And if you're provoking my peace, I'm sure you're provoking the peace of others. But let me ask you, because it's good provocation. It's good provocation. So we talk about budgeting, what it is, and it's a form of planning, because we can call it
Yes.
financial planning, right? You use a term, and this is a new one for you here. You use the term consolidation. Now I know what consolidation is. I don't know if all of my listeners know what consolidation is. Can you quickly tell us what consolidation is, please?
It's really just bringing together. So you may have things scattered. You may have loans scattered. You may have different expenses scattered, and you dealing with three different financial institutions trying to pay off here, there, and whatever it is. Sometimes at different interest rates and such alike. You it may become arduous. It may become very difficult for you to do. But if you were able to consolidate, as in bring all of them together as one, something that is more manageable, you may be able to one, extend the period for which you are repaying it, or if you're keeping the period, have everything together, yes, and you're better able to then manage the payments. So as opposed to one payment, you need to make one payment on the 20th and the other on the 25th and the other on the 30th, but you only get paid on the 25th. So the ones on the 20, the one that is due on the 20th, you incur additional expenses or charges on it because the payment is late, and the one that is on the 25th, on the 30th, because you would have done so much budgeting and you would have incurred additional expense and had to pay some extra money on that, you find that you fell short on that one. So what you want to do is put it in bring things together in a way that you can better manage it. So consolidation, for the long and short of it, is just bringing together, is the bringing together of things.
Okay, thank you. Thank you for that. Let me say once more, you are listening to the Optimal You with me, Renee, your life coach and host. And we are talking to Mr. Marvin Douglas of Marathon Insurance. Am I
Insurance
pronouncing it?
brokers.
Insurance brokers, correct, of Marathon Insurance Brokers. Now, I want to hear from you in the WhatsApp chat at 825 343 4486, or come on to YouTube and give me a two-piece on YouTube as well, and let me know what's going on, right? Andrea Jones in the YouTube chat says the small amount you're getting, budgeting will help you to spend it wisely. Budgeting will help
Amen.
you to spend it wisely. In the chat, we have Corinne says, you can save, you can budget. It doesn't matter, you can budget. Lorna says, the bank makes it, and I'm presuming this is Jamaica, right? The bank makes it difficult for minimum earners to save. When I started Scotia Mint with little and nothing, I thought it was good since it forced you to save without easy access. She said she told my niece to use it, told her niece to use it, especially since that's where she get paid. She can only afford 1,000 Jamaican dollars, and they told her she has to save 11,000, and that discouraged her. What advice? That's an advice one. All right, we're gonna hold that advice. Well, you can answer now. What advice would you give to that niece, Mr. Douglas?
All right. Thanks for that. So it's about, I want to put it out there that there are options available. Don't feel bound to the fact that you're being paid through Scotia. You have to do something through Scotia. And this is not knocking Scotia. It is, I'm just putting it out there that explore your options. If you don't know what your options are, it would benefit you to say, I said, to speak with an advisor. And don't worry about the little or the much that you earn. you still can engage an advisor. Yes, it's about just speaking with somebody who is trained and exploring your options, because even though one particular product may be requiring a minimum of 11,000, there are other products that will then that you can use that has the amount you can use the amount that you can afford. Because I tell you something, if it is that you are putting too much in any one place, then it throws off your budget. Something else suffers. Then it leads you right back where you were or where you don't want to be. Hence the importance of budgeting. So I would say, let us revisit, let us look at what our options are based on the intended goal.
You see, more and more I'm seeing the need for a financial advisor. I'm serious. More and more you see the need for a financial advisor, because some of these things on your own, you probably not think of it. You probably not think of it. Thank you, Mr. Douglas. That was quite a bit. Very informative.
Yeah, right. Thank you.
We all need a financial advisor. I'm just putting that out there. Okay, so Mr. Budget, Mr. Douglas, if you should say, give us a basic budget, like what a basic budget. You gave us earlier, told us some of the things that should be in a budget, but some of them we don't understand the terms, so you might have to explain that, the
Mhm.
variables and all those wonderful terms. If you could give us an idea of what when I'm a small man with my small change, okay, and I have a loan with the credit union, and I have my bills to pay. I'm a single mom, or I'm a single dad, or it's just me paying the bills. I want give me a suggestion as to what a simple budget would sound like, what it would sound like, what it would look like.
All
Can you
right.
do
So first thing, we did talk about tracking. So we're going to be tracking the expenses. So the assumption is that okay, we're already tracking the expense, or even if we're not tracking the expense, let us start tracking the expense, right? So even if we're going to keep it in its most simplistic form, and we just pull out a sheet of paper. On one hand, I'm going to write income, and on the other side, split the paper in two down the middle. One side income, the other side expense. So so on the income side, we'll write down, as you say, the little much that we get. So I earn X amount. And on the other side, I write down expense. But then I'll further divide that expense into fixed expenses, and then I'll write variable expenses. Yes? What are your fixed expense? The things that comes the same amount every month. So you know what they're going to be. You know what rent is going to be, or you know what mortgage is going to be, right? But you don't know what light or water is just going to be. So whilst you can't change your fixed expenses, there's always an opportunity to alter your variable expenses. So that is from there you will know, all right, I can do X, I can do Y, I can change X, or I can change Y. I have had persons who I have sought to we have sought to alter their fixed expenses by telling them, look here, you can't afford this, so you can find nicer place closer to your work, closer to your kids' school, which gives you same or even better security, so to speak. Yes. So we try at some points to look at even your fixed expenses. But as I was saying, you have your income on one side and you have your expense on the other side. Remember earlier I made mention of creating ratios, right? So different persons, depending on the amounts that they earn, we will look at different ratios. So we may say, all right, we're going to do a 50-30-20 ratio, where we say 50% will go to fixed expenses, 30% will go to wants, and then 20% goes to investments and debt repayment. But everybody knows me. I go with paying God and paying yourself. So we take out 10%. So my ratio start with 10%. That I forgot money. And then you go with, then you decided, all right, you're going to go with another 10%. Now that are your money. So technically you can have 80% left. From that 80%, you're saying, all right, based on what the fixed expenses are, that will account for another 40%. So now we only have 40%. From the saving, from the paying you, which is your savings, you can determine, all right, how do we use this money? Do we put this money in a Scotia Mint? Do we put this money in an annuity? Do we put this money in purchasing of some stocks? Because a lot of us believe that if we will purchase stocks and such, we have to have a whole heap of money. It's a misconception. Speak to an advisor. They will be able to assist you. It is much easier than a lot of people think, right? And you can't continue something that you have not started. It is easy to start. So we go back. We have income on one side and we have expense on the other side. On the expense side, we will write down everything that we must do or that we can do, to include the monies that you're going to give away, to include the money that if you contribute X to mama or to daddy or to your brother or whatever it is, because you know how it is. Sometimes we have friends or family who not really up at the moment, and we contribute towards their finances. So whatever it is that we do, we put it in the budget. So as I said, I probably should have done something where I could share a screen or something where I said, just put an example, amount that you earn versus the amount that you
We can
spend.
work on that for another time, definitely.
Yes. So once you do that, it gives you a clear idea, because I bet you some persons, when you do it, when you write it down, tears are gonna come on high same time, because when I gonna say, boy, I can't believe say all of this may have to do. Write it down. Write it down. When you write it down, you can start putting things into perspective. Out of the little money we have, do you really need to buy one extra shoes this month? Is it a need or is it a want? Do you really need to do X or Y? For insurance purposes, persons have said to me, I can't afford insurance. Persons who smoke. And I said, all right, tell you what, me I go beg you 2 cigarettes a day. It is we are moving towards where it's about our well-being, financial and otherwise, and I'm saying, just write it down, just document it, and you will see how it makes a difference.
Wow, Lord, I tell you, you're coming. Yes, you're giving us the information, but the information just feels so heavy. Do you really need to buy a shoe? I mean, I don't have a red one, so I'd like to just get a red one, to wear with that outfit. You know how women are. We need to get a red with a green. You know the thing. So we have to try to. What we will try to do is to put it in the budget and take something out.
Well, at least if you put it in the budget, you will know if you can actually do it now. And then there is the concept of delayed gratification. There's that beautiful concept, and guess what? You'll find out that you feel much better when you get there.
All right, sir. I will take that. I'm just speaking, I'm not saying that's my story, I'm just speaking on behalf of those who may have that story. You
Yes.
understand? I'm just trying to be a representative.
Yeah.
Right,
You're saying
people?
it for a friend.
Yeah, For all the women who might be having that, not even a friend, for all the women who might
All right.
have that concern. You understand? So, Mr. Douglas, so having said all of that, and we really want to try to get that template in one of these sessions, what advice, finally, would you give to that person who says budgeting is rubbish? I hear what they're saying, but it's rubbish. What final word would you give to that Christian? Because you know that's our focus.
Yes.
What would you say to them?
All right. The Bible isn't fact. The Bible is truth. And as you would have alluded to, based on the late Dr. Miles Monroe, if you mismanage it, you will lose it. And we were left as stewards of the things, of the blessings that we have. I always tell people, there is no harm in you trying budgeting. Tell me what you have to lose. I believe you have everything to gain. So let us try it, and then we reassess it. If you are in a position, if you continue to do the same things and you expect different results, they always say that's a good definition of insanity. So if it is that you're looking for change, let's create the change that we want to see and start by budgeting. Let's just create a change of our mindset and a change in action. Let us go forward and have some faith. You never have to have no money.
Oh, say that again.
You don't even have to have more than the measure that you were born with, because that is enough.
Let me say, for the benefit of those persons who are in Jamaica or in the diaspora who they're listening, how can they find Marathon? How can they find you? Because after last week's discussion, somebody reached out to me. I hope they reached out to you. I'm gonna ask you, please just tell us where we can find you as quickly as you can. Tell us where we can find you, where they can find you to get
All right.
financial advice.
So as I said, we're Marathon Insurance Brokers. We are at 46 Trinidad Terrace here in New Kingston. That's Jamaica. But if I may, Minister, I always tell them that my contact number is public knowledge. So I just for me to share, I can be contacted at 876 507 2933. We have a team that, let me repeat that, that's 876 507 2933. I have a team of able financial advisors who will be able to walk you through some stuff. And as Christians, as a Christian, one of the things that I do is we create partnerships and alliances with persons in different areas of the financial sector. So for the things that are not within our scope, we will be able to redirect you to partners and different persons who may be able to assist you in getting your finances up to speed.
Thank you so much, Mr. Douglas. Every time you come, you leave me with something in it, but I'm grateful. I'm grateful. I think all of us we are grateful for the information because the aim of the optimal you is to help the believer, the Christian, to optimize, to give God 100%, to be able to fully participate in
Yes.
kingdom because you are financially well. Thank you, sir. God bless you and have an outstanding rest of day.
Thank you for having me. May the peace of God be with you and your listeners.
Bless you, sir.
Thanks.
Bye. Whoa, 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 whoa. Can I say that again, guys? That was a mouthful. That was information. So you can't say you can't budget. Don't say you can't budget. Don't say you cannot Budget. You can. Yes, man, you can. And as Sister Andrea said, that small amount you're getting, budgeting will help you to spend it wisely. Budgeting will help you to spend it wisely. We're going to jump on back over to studio, and we are going to be tuning in to the Bus Stop crew to hear what's going on over there. Thank you so much for joining me. I'm your life coach, Renee, saying, God bless you. We'll do this again tomorrow. Blessings.